Emily Carter stood in the small kitchen as morning light slipped through the blinds, landing softly on a cold cup of coffee she hadn't touched. The apartment was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels heavy rather than peaceful. Outside, rain tapped against the window, steady and patient, as if it had nowhere else to be. There was a time when mornings felt different. When she used to wake up with plans instead of worries. When coffee tasted warm, not forgotten. Now everything felt paused. Her eyes drifted to the envelope on the counter. Past due. Again. She didn't need to open it to know what it said. She already carried the weight of those words in her chest. From the hallway came the sound of small footsteps. Lily appeared, backpack slung over one shoulder, tying her shoelaces with careful concentration. 8 years old, and already too quiet for her age. "Mom," Lily said gently, not wanting to disturb the silence. "It's okay if we're late. My teacher understands." Emily smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "We won't be late," she said, more confidently than she felt. As they stepped outside, the rain had slowed to a mist. The sidewalk glistened, reflecting a gray sky that matched Emily's mood. Halfway down the block, there it was again, the stone. It sat awkwardly in the middle of the sidewalk, half-buried, uneven, impossible to ignore. People complained about it all the time. Some cursed under their breath when they stumbled. Others stepped around it, annoyed but resigned. Emily had walked past it hundreds of times. Today she noticed it more than ever. Life felt just like that stone, placed directly in her path without warning, forcing her to adjust, to stumble, to work harder just to keep moving. She squeezed Lily's hand as they walked around it. At school, Lily hugged her tightly before running inside. Emily stood there for a moment, watching through the glass doors until Lily disappeared down the hallway. Only then did she turn back toward home. Back in the apartment, Emily opened her laptop. The screen glowed with emails she'd already read too many times. "We regret to inform you. We've decided to move forward with another candidate. Thank you for your interest." Each message felt like another quiet rejection, polite but final. She closed the laptop and leaned back in her chair, staring at the ceiling. 3 months ago, her life looked completely different. She had a job she was proud of, a home that felt stable, a marriage she thought would last. Her husband hadn't yelled when he left. He hadn't slammed doors or thrown accusations. He had simply written a note and placed it on the kitchen table. "I can't do this anymore." That sentence replayed in her mind more than she cared to admit. No explanation ever followed. No long conversations. Just absence. Emily became both provider and protector overnight. And some days she wasn't sure she was strong enough to be either. That afternoon she went for a walk, hoping movement might quiet her thoughts. When she reached the stone again, she stopped. For the first time, she didn't step around it. She stared at it, rain darkening its surface. It looked ordinary, useless, inconvenient. "Why are you even here?" she whispered. Emily stood there longer than she needed to, watching as the worker uncovered more of the stone. It wasn't a diamond or anything dramatic like that, but it was different, smooth, layered, almost intentional. People passed by without slowing down. To them, it was still just an obstacle being removed so the sidewalk could return to normal. But Emily couldn't stop staring. On the walk home, her thoughts followed her like shadows. She kept thinking about how many times she had walked past things in her own life without really seeing them. Ideas she buried. Strength she ignored. Chances she assumed weren't meant for her. That afternoon, she called a number she had saved weeks ago but never dialed. It belonged to a small local business owner she had once helped casually, years back, before life became complicated. "Hey," she said when he answered, her voice steady but nervous. "I don't know if you remember me." He did. They talked for 20 minutes. Then 30. By the end of the call, he asked if she could help him redesign part of his online system. Just a small contract. Nothing big. When Emily hung up, her hands were shaking. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a rescue. But it was movement. That night, she worked after Lily went to bed. She made mistakes. She corrected them. She learned things she thought she was too old to learn. The clock crept past midnight, but she didn't notice. She felt useful again. Weeks passed like that. Some days were still hard. Some nights she cried quietly in the bathroom so Lily wouldn't hear. Bills didn't magically disappear. Fear didn't vanish. But it no longer owned her. One afternoon, Lily sat beside her at the table, coloring while Emily worked on her laptop. "You're different lately," Lily said, not looking up. Emily paused. "Different how?" "Happier," Lily replied simply. "Or trying to be." Emily swallowed. "I'm trying," she said. Lily smiled. "I know." The stone was gone from the sidewalk now. In its place was smooth concrete, clean and easy to walk on. People moved faster. No one stumbled anymore. But Emily missed it. Not the inconvenience, but what it had taught her. Months later, her small contract turned into another. Then another. Word spread quietly. Emily didn't chase success. She focused on doing honest work one task at a time. One evening she received an email from a company she once thought was far out of her reach. They wanted an interview. She stared at the screen for a long time before closing her eyes and taking a breath. During the interview, her voice shook at first, then steadied. She spoke honestly, not about perfection but about problem solving, about resilience, about learning the hard way. 2 days later the offer came. It wasn't just the salary that made her cry. It was the validation. The reminder that she hadn't disappeared just because life had knocked her down. That night, she and Lily celebrated with takeout pizza on the living room floor. They laughed with their mouths full. They talked about silly things, normal things. Later, after Lily fell asleep, Emily stood by the window, looking out at the quiet street. She thought about the woman she had been a year ago. Exhausted, invisible, convinced she was stuck. She thought about the stone. Life hadn't removed her obstacles for her. It had simply waited for her to look closer. Emily realized then that bravery wasn't loud. It didn't always announce itself. Sometimes it was just choosing to pick up the pen again, to make the call, to believe that what feels like a burden might actually be a beginning. Outside, the streetlight flickered softly. Emily smiled not because everything was perfect, but because she finally understood. Some stones are placed in your path to stop you. Others are placed there to shape you. And the bravest women are the ones who learn the difference.